Hey folks, in this video, we're talking about escaping the sweltering summer heat and tips for staying cool while traveling or living in a van.
First, we'll take you to a few of our favorite places to get away from the high temperatures. Then, we'll show you what we've done with our van, the Cubby van, to stay as cool as possible without air conditioning. Ready?
Let's go.
So where are we now?
Right now we're boondocking this absolutely fantastic place in this very small town called Golconda, Illinois, Southern Illinois, and we're right on the Ohio River here, watching the barges run up and down the river, and this is the type of place that we really enjoy. There is a very slight cool breeze coming off of the river right there, which is really nice because
It's really humid right now. It's really humid.
Yeah, it really is. Can't keep my eye off the carp that are out here jumping like crazy and swimming around.
You should be fishing.
I know, I should be fishing. Anyway, the number one thing that I have in mind for our RV to enhance the coolest efficiency is to get the heck out of these hot, humid Midwestern states. We're on our way to Maine, baby.
Oh, Maine! It's probably the best place on the East Coast to escape the heat, and it's just so beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. Especially the northern part. What an amazing coastline. Hey, what are you doing?
What am I doing? It's blueberry season in Maine, and I'm picking blueberries. Wild blueberries. I'm actually raking them. I'm raking them with my fingers.
Wow, that's awesome. You know, I'm not really a big fan of the southern part of Maine. It's kind of like going to a beach in the Hamptons or something.
Really?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, but it's difficult to find a place to boondock. The beaches are packed.
But they have a lobster.
They do have a lot of lobster, and we eat a lot of lobster when we go to Maine. I highly recommend it.
Lobster.
Hi.
Hey, what are you doing?
I am cooking lobsters. We bought 4 gigantic lobsters from this place just up the road there. That's number 1. I got 3 more to go. Can only fit 1 at a time in the pot. So that's number 1.
So what are you eating?
Oh my goodness. This lobster mac and cheese, we're not going to give you the recipe. It's our own secret recipe. But look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that piece of lobster there. Oh, and the mac and cheese. Oh. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what my baby came up with. You got to check this out. Oh my goodness. Is that the most amazing thing? That is lobster with chanterelles and chanterelle cream sauce. And this is, oh, look at that. There's a chanterelle and a lobster claw at the same time. That's decadent. Well, I just cooked lobster number 13. That's lobster number 14. Oh, I hate doing this. You know, I love eating lobster, but cooking it live is, it's hard to deal with. Sorry, but I like them too much. Here's to Maine. After that, we're heading across Canada to Seattle, Washington, eventually getting there by fall. That's the number 1 way I plan on modifying my RV. Its location.
Yeah, we try to avoid the heat.
Any particular states that you really like to travel in the heat of summertime to avoid the heat?
Go north. Colorado is very nice.
Colorado, number 1. So there's a particular section of Colorado that we really, really like. I hesitate to tell you about it because we don't want anyone else to go there. But it's between like the towns of Salida and Buena Vista and Leadville. And every place up there is 10,000 feet or higher. I mean, Leadville is 10,000 feet. All the mountains surrounding that region are 14,000 feet.
Or higher.
I was fishing for like a week in some lakes that were true alpine lakes at 9,600 feet. Wow, we just did one of the most amazing trails that we've ever done before. The Windsor Lake Trail in the Mount Massive Wilderness, and it was only a mile up, but wow, it's steep. It was probably the steepest trail I've ever done. Wow, this is an amazing area. But I'll tell you, hiking 11,000 feet takes a breath out of you. But we made it, and talk about beating the heat. It was really cold out there. It was probably in the 30s with the wind chill, even lower. Go, go. Wait, that's one surefire way to beat the heat. Go where there's still snow in July. Go, go. We got up to what we thought was the top, and we got to what we thought was the lake, and we were almost ready to turn around, and I said, let's follow this trail and see where it goes. I'd like to see what the view is over here. And we found out that the first lake was just a pond, that the bigger lake was about a quarter of a mile further in. Beautiful. I'd highly recommend it to anyone who has the wherewithal to do it, because you get up at the top and the lakes and the mountains and the snow are just absolutely incredible. Colorado has been so sweet to us. The weather's beautiful today. It's about 60 degrees right here, and we're at 11,153 feet. And wow, you can't beat Colorado. It's our favorite. Colorado, that's where we really like to be in the summertime there. Or what about the Great Lakes region?
I love that area, especially the UP.
Oh, yeah.
I love everything about it. Lake Superior, it's the Superior Lake. It's my favorite lake in the world.
Yeah, it really is. It's Lake Superior is like the Caribbean Ocean or something.
It has
like
waves.
Bathwater clear. And when Nita says that UP, she's talking about the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. One of our favorite places up there is Marquette. I think I could live in Marquette if it wasn't winter.
It gets pretty cold up there.
It's pretty cold. Then we also have in the Great Lakes region, Minnesota and Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. Wow, look at this fantastic lake. This is just absolutely incredible. We're here with the Cubby van in Pfeiffer Lake State Park, no, Pfeiffer Lake Campground. It's a national forest campground. Really fabulous. Just got here. This is the lake that comes with it. Yes, for just a couple bucks a night, this can be your view. Just absolutely beautiful place. If you ever have a chance to get up here in northern Minnesota, you definitely should do so. I'd like to make a toast to Minnesota. Get here if you can. It's a beautiful place. Old Forester to Minnesota. What about Door County, Wisconsin?
So pretty. Another favorite is the Oregon coast. I love the Pacific Northwest. I love that entire area. Oregon has beautiful beaches. It has sea stacks, it has water.
And talk about staying cool. A lot of times it's foggy. It's really foggy, right?
It's really foggy.
And windy as well. But it usually clears up later on in the day.
We're at the Oregon coast, and it's about 58 degrees. It's windy and it's beautiful. And in Portland, it's 108 degrees. Oregon has oysters. It has everything.
My favorite oysters in America, perhaps in the entire world, is right there in North Bend, Oregon, a place called Clausen Oysters. Where are we and what are we having?
We're in North Bend, Oregon, and we are having fried oysters for breakfast.
We're at Clausen's.
How are the oysters?
That is without a doubt the best fried oyster I've ever had. And apparently they make their own chips too. Really, really good stuff. Best breakfast ever.
Clausen oysters are amazing. We liked it so much, we had oysters for breakfast 2 days in a row.
Yeah, 2 days in a row.
We did. So this is what we have. We have fresh oysters from Chuck's Seafood in Charleston, Oregon. We have smoked octopus. We have teriyaki stillhead, and we have smoked albacore. Black sesame crackers, hot sauce, lemon, cream cheese, beer. We have it all.
This, my friends, is smoked octopi. Smoked octopus. It's really kind of like, it kind of is like, it looks, it's like jerky. It's really quite delicious. So I'm probably going to save this for road treats because it's kind of chewy. It's so smoky and really delicious. I'll stick you. Oh! There they are. Delicious delicacies. We're about to cook up some crab, but of course first we had to cook some delicious oysters. Yum. Hand roasted. The only thing I don't like about the Oregon coast is it can be very difficult to find a place to boondock sometimes. We boondocked right in town in Coos Bay.
We did.
Right in the parking lot there. But it was great because we were still very close to the coast. So now I think it's time to show you our van on this very hot, humid day in southern Illinois and talk about how effective our strategies are at keeping the van cool. So now we're going to talk about some of the modifications that we've made to our van to try to keep it as cool as possible. Remembering that we don't have an air conditioning unit or any kind of cooling system in the van. The only thing we can really do is try to keep the sun out as best as possible. So the number one thing that we would want to do is park in the shade. However, because we're solar powered and we're here for a couple of days, I want to park in full sun to keep my batteries charged, right? So let's show you some of the things that we've done to keep it shady and to get some ventilation going through our van. Let's come on over here. And the very first thing is to be able to protect this side of the van where we do most of our living, where the sliding door is, by having an awning. And this specific awning, I love this thing. This is a Fiamma F45S. I think the S is for silver. It's 10 feet long, which is just about the length of the van, and it's 8 feet this way. So we can put it over the picnic table, and you can see right here we have our computer and our other phone set up where we just did our little interview for this particular episode. And so that's it. So we have the awning. You can see Charlie's pretty comfortable here, laying out here. And more importantly is there's a very slight, yes, it's slight, but it's enough to make a difference, breeze coming off of this beautiful river. We're boondocked right here next to the Ohio River in southern Illinois. That's Kentucky on the other side. It's just fabulous. We're here for a couple days. Love this spot. But let's take a look at the inside of the van now and see how we should do our best to keep it cool, right? Let's talk about the insulation in the van. And what I have is 1.5 inches of polyisocyanate foam on the roof of the van. We have it on the walls. We have it on the floor. And it's all sealed in place with Great Stuff foam. And then I sealed up all of the edges with the Great Stuff foam. And then in any hollow compartments in the van, such as the ribs, we stuffed that with rock wool insulation. And then there's about 1 inch airspace between the silver side of the polyisocyanate and our plywood interior walls. Believe me, that really helps a lot because it's hot as heck out there today, and these walls aren't even warm. I mean, they just feel like, you know, room temperature, whatever. The next thing is shade. So in the front windshield here, that is the hottest part of the van because it has the least amount of reflective coating. We have 2 different sunshades. I have a full-size expandable one, like the kind that you twist up and pop in there, but there's still some heat gets through there. So then I have a secondary sunshade behind that, and that's made of Reflectix, which is the silver, what I would call silver coated bubble wrap, really. And then we have our driver's side window, which is on the sunny side of the van right now. That window is hot, but Nita made these fabulous shades for all of our windows, and I'll show you one of them here. Nita made these fabulous shades that fit in the windows, and this one fits in the passenger window. So the Reflectix is the one side of the shade, and then the other side of the shade is this wonderful material that we found that Nita upholstered pretty much everything in the van with to keep a color theme there. So these are our shades here, and we keep them in this handy dandy net that we got from Amazon. We love this net. The next thing that's very important is our choice of windows. We have motion windows in the back. That's the brand. I'm going to show you those in a minute. These windows are Arctic Tern from a company called Tern Overland, and I believe it's turnoverland.com. Something really cool about these, before I talk about the windows themselves, I'm going to talk about the shades. And they have an integrated shade that goes up and down like this. And you can see that there's a screen in here, a bug screen. The bug screen goes like that, so you can let more light in if you want to. You can mount these integrated shades and screens any way you'd like. We chose to mount them so that they come up from the bottom, because that way when you're in your van, if you're walking around naked or you just don't want people to see what's going on in there, you can raise it halfway up. Okay, and these are the Arctic tern windows from the outside. And you can see they open up pretty far, so you get an awful lot of ventilation here. And a lot of things that I really like about these windows, in addition to the fact that they open this much, you get a big hole there for ventilation. You can also open them during the rain, unless the rain is really coming, horizontal or something like that, and keeps the rain out. So I really like the awning windows. We had them in our travel trailer for 13 years, and we knew when we bought a van and started building it out that we wanted the same style of windows. Now these windows are a slightly tinted polycarbonate material, and they're a double wall thickness. They're double wall thickness, so they're insulated and they're not hot at all on the inside. They get a little bit warm. But this is the screen that I talked about, the integrated screen. And you can see from the outside, or the shade, that it's silver. And so that really helps insulate it as well. And even though I have the shades up, I have these windows open just to prevent any heat from getting trapped between them and getting that greenhouse effect. So that's really helpful there. This is the shade that we have on the driver's side that I showed you from the inside, and you can see the Reflectix material here. And if we walk around the front, you can see the sunshade that I talked about for the front windshield, and it completely covers that front windshield. That's our second shade, because the first one, it's hard to find a shade that fits the Promaster exactly without any cracks. And we specifically got that more for nighttime stealth worthiness than we did for heat or for sun. So it really serves double duty. When that thing's in at night, you can't see a peep of light coming out of there. And that goes the same for the shades on the windows. Let's walk around the back and I'll show you the motion windows. Okay, on our slightly dirty van right now, these are the motion windows that I talked about. Again, that's the brand. And these windows are really nice because they're made specifically for the Promaster, so they have a nice curve to them that matches the wall of the Promaster. And they're also tinted. They have a pretty dark tint on them. I didn't talk about the tint on our driver's side and passenger side front windows, but we did recently in Albuquerque upgrade the tint on that to get a much darker tint on the windows. And that isn't just to keep the sunlight out, that's to keep it cool, because the more tint you have on your windows, the cooler the interior will be. So I'm going to open this up now and show you these windows. This is another sunshade that Nita has made for these windows as well. I showed you the side windows. And they just attach with some Velcro like that. Again, the Reflectix on this side. These windows open and have an integrated screen as well. And on the sunshade that Nita made, she made that little flap there, so at night, if we have that in at night, we can still get airflow. Again, I have these on here now just to keep any extra heat from the sun out of the van. Like these windows, however, they're single pane, unlike the Tern Overland windows. And yeah, they get hot. Even with the tint on them, they get hot, so you got to put the sunshades on them. That's the only thing I don't like. Even the metal gets hot on these. But otherwise, they're nice, with a shade over it. Let's look at the inside a minute. Okay, so I'm going to hop up here a minute. I'll show you probably the most ubiquitous device that you'll find in anybody's RV or van is the Max Air Fan. And so right now I have it off. I'm going to turn it on for a minute because it gets pretty loud. And right now I have it venting out. So when these doors are closed and we have all the shades in, it's sucking air from the cool side of the van underneath the awning, sucking it through the van and out there. Now, I will caution you about something. Someone may, an astute viewer will notice that I've taken the screen out of it. Just for now, I'll put it in before nightfall comes. But the reason is because that screen has such a tight weave, purposely to keep the bugs out, that it really seriously restricts the airflow. So when I really need to get air flowing through here, I don't do it at night, but I take the screen out so we can get maximum airflow. Okay, another modification I made to this fan is these little furniture dots that I put on here. This is the on off, and this is up and down. And the reason I put those on there is because at night when you want to turn the fan on or off, or you want to turn it up or down, you can't feel these buttons up here because they're flush with the body of the fan. So I took these little felt pads and put them on the most important buttons, so at night when I reach up there in the dark, I can tell what I'm touching. Again, I'll put the screen back in there so that I don't accidentally stick my finger in the fan. But we have that fan, and then we have a couple other fans as well. So we each have these personal USB fans right here, right above our bed. And this one's on right now, blowing air on Charlie, who was here, and he's not here now. He's smart. And they plug in, let's move this. They plug into these little reading lights that we have. So we each have one of these gooseneck lights, and that gooseneck light has a USB port in it that the fan is plugged into. Now, the final thing that I'm going to talk about is our bug nets, and that does have something to do with staying cool, because when it's really hot out, we like to sleep with these doors open, and we sleep with our big slider open, so we have a lot of airflow. We have all of our windows open with our screens in, and we have our bug nets, okay? But I wanted to talk about these bug nets a little bit because these were bought off of Amazon, and Nita, talented as she is with sewing, made some major modifications to these. And we fitted this so it fits our van perfectly. And the main modification that we made was we took out these big, long, kind of flexible magnets that these bug nets come with. If you've ever bought one of these, you know what I'm talking about. This one has one here. It's a big, long, flexible magnet. And we've replaced them with little short 1-inch rare earth magnets, which are super, super strong. So that when you shut it, it absolutely seals it up like that. And so we really like those. And the side screen was a total major modification. I'm not going to go into that in this video, but no, the bug nets are really important too, so you can sleep with your doors open and keep things as cool as possible. That's it.
We'll see you down the road.
We'll see you on the road.